Okay, wait a second. Oh yeah. The space we thought was empty. Yeah, we know. I mean, you know what that is talking about, right? First of all, these ripples. In my book, it's just everything's kind of the ether, the empty space that we see. What, you know, some people say it's air. To me, you know, up is down. The ocean, like I sometimes feel like what I'm breathing is not air. I mean, air is just a word. It's just what these idiots that call themselves scientists came up with, because they don't see anything, right? Because they never opened their third eye, right? Because they never looked at the spiritual side, but they just see, oh, this is all empty. Let's just call it air. And then we say it's the wind. Well, what does it mean? I mean, to me, everything is energy. And if I open myself to perceiving energy, then what I will realize is that if I walk, right, sometimes I hike, and then suddenly I see, especially during twilight, there's like shifts of light and darkness that you cannot see otherwise, and you realize everything they have been telling us, or you, or me, is just complete bullshit. You know, because science claims to know things, but they do not know anything. They don't know anything because they can't even understand the most simple thing that everybody was rooting for, which is, yeah, time is relative. Yeah, no shit. Everything is relative to your perception. Right? So, you know, science thinks, you know, you can measure time, but how can you measure something that's relative? Right? Because time in its essence is a feeling, and that's why sometimes you feel like time stretches out and sometimes it pulls itself together. So how are you supposed to measure something that's immeasurable? You know, how can you measure feeling like a day has been eternity? And every day is eternity. It stretches itself out into eternity or almost eternity, and suddenly you sleep, you open your eyes and you realize, wow, the day is over. Right? I mean, it makes no sense, and nor will it ever make sense. And I think that's what we all have to understand, that there are things that simply make no sense. And right, if I wanted to explain to you what the ether is, well, it cannot be explained, it just can be perceived. You look at it and you realize, wow, everything is energy. You know, if I clap once, then this creates ripples in this construct of reality that we perceive. You know, it's reality without the clap, and then it's reality with the clap, and the clap vibrating through the ether, right? So actions create ripples in this ether. So if I do certain things, you know, I can build up energy, but some things deflate energy. And so what I have learned is to really pay attention to what I'm going to do and then make a choice. Sometimes I do really weird things, and sometimes there's things that I do which I find strange. Sometimes I do things that I find strange, really strange, but I do them anyway. And sometimes I do things that I say I never want to do that again. And sometimes I do things that I would like to repeat. And sometimes I do things where I have no idea what the consequence is until I realize what the consequence is. So right now I feel like going shopping, maybe buying plants, or maybe buying wine and chocolate, and then just spending the night rendering videos because I have to render a lot of videos. I have recorded a lot of material. And I feel like I simply have to push this through. So I feel like I cannot escape, not the way I thought I would escape, but, right, I mean, this may be because I'm perceiving fine differences in the energetic field, and I feel like I have to do something to move on and go with the flow